Hi, I'm Lucy Foster-Perkins, and I've made this class for anyone who has any lower back pain when you're surfing, or if you want to strengthen your lower back, then this is the one for you. Let's get going. So we'll start with our eyes closed. Find a comfortable sitting position. Have your hands on the knees, and begin to focus in on your breath. So your inhales and your exhales, and really send them to your lower back. So this is the area we'll focus on today. So take a moment just to send your awareness, send your breath to that place. Inhale and exhale through the nose. Nice. And then from here, pad the hands down to the ground in front of you. Keep walking them forwards and let your head drop down. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't touch the ground. You might find a nice gentle stretch on the back of the spine. Keep the sit bones rooting into the earth. And keep that breath going in and out, sending it to the lower back. Then from here, start padding your hands in a big arc to the left. So you'll feel more of a stretch on the right hand side of the body. Keep both sit bones, particularly your right sit bone, anchored to the earth. Keep that breath going. And then pad the hands to the other side, so to the right this time. Keep the left sit bone anchored down. You'll find more of a stretch on your left hand side. And stay here for a few breaths. Great. Last couple of breaths. Then pad your hands to the center again. Let the head drop down. Then on the next inhale, begin to walk your hands back towards your knees. Begin to sit up so your back is nice and tall. And then take your knees to one side and come to all fours. Checking your knees are underneath your hips and your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. As you inhale, arch the back and look up towards the sky. And as you exhale, curl the back and look towards the stomach. Couple more of these. Inhaling, arching, looking up. Use your breath as you exhale, curl the spine, push the ribs towards the sky, looking under the stomach. Inhale, arching, one more time. Exhale, curling. Just warming up that spine again. Great. Then come back to all fours. Pad the hands a little bit in front of you, tuck the toes under and come to plank. And now in plank, you're simply going to curl the tailbone under. So just a little tilt of the pelvis under and then back to neutral. And doing this a couple of times. So you're just isolating the very base of your spine, base of your lumbar spine. Great. Use your stomach muscles as you curl it under. So it's not that much of a movement. Nice. Then from here, bend the knees, look forwards, and begin to take little baby steps with the feet all the way to the front of the mat. Once you're at the front, hold on to opposite elbows and let the head hang down. Let the whole weight of the upper body find that nice stretch on the lower back. Maybe swing from side to side, just releasing the spine. From here, gaze towards the horizon, bend your knees and take your hands to your shins. Keep that nice tabletop back. You can stay here, or maybe you can straighten the legs. You could take the hands to the waist. If you're feeling nice and strong, maybe take the hands wide like an aeroplane and look down to the ground, but keep that tabletop back. So you don't want to round with the spine or arch here. And as you exhale, drop down again. Let the head drop down and the hands come down to the ground. Really nice. From here, take 3 long breaths to roll up to standing. Great. Once you come to standing, on your next inhale, take the hands above the head, look up to the thumbs. As you exhale, the hands come down to the ground and let the head drop down. Inhale, take the right foot back to a long lunge, gaze forward to the horizon. And as you exhale, take the left foot back to downward facing dog. Great, lifting the hips up to the sky to make that upside down V shape. On the next inhale, lift the heels off the ground, ripple through the spine to plank. And as you exhale, take the knees down to the ground. The chest and chin comes down, but the bum stays in the air. On the next inhale, now the hips drop down, lift the heart, point the toes to cobra, squeeze those elbows in either side of your ribs. As you exhale, tuck the toes under, lift the hips to all fours, and then all the way back up to downward facing dog. Great. A few more breaths in that downward dog. Really send the breath to the lower back again. Breathing in and out through the nose. Root the heels into the earth. Press the whole palms into the ground. Bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, place the right foot in between the hands, gaze to the horizon. As you exhale, the left foot joins the right and you fold all the way down. Inhale, take the hands above the head, look up to the thumbs, come up to standing. And as you exhale, take the hands back down to the side again. Great. Second side. Inhale, lift the hands above the head, bring an arch into the back this time. Exhale, fold all the way down. As you inhale, it's the left leg that steps back, gaze towards the horizon. As you exhale, the right foot joins it, downward facing dog. Breathing in your downward dog. Send your breath to that lower back again. Nice. Inhale, lift the heels off the ground, ripple through the spine to plank. Take a breath here. Reset with an inhale, and as you exhale, drop the knees down to the ground, chest and chin comes down. Squeeze the elbows in. Hips drop down on an inhale, lift the chest, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes under, come back to all fours, then lift the hips back to downward facing dog. Keep the breath nice and strong, particularly if it gets a little tough for your shoulders. And remember, you can always drop down to child's pose and rejoin later. Breathing deeply. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, the left leg steps in between the hands, gaze forward. Exhale as the right foot joins it and you fold down. Inhale, hands come above the head, more of an arch into the back this time, look up. And exhale, take the hands to prayer in front of the chest. Take a deep inhale with the eyes closed and exhale. Open the eyes, inhale, bend the knees, take the hands forward to chair. Sit back in that imaginary chair behind you. Keep the back nice and long and gaze at the thumbs. As you exhale, let the head drop down as you fold down. Remember, the knees can stay bent if they need to. Inhale, gaze towards the horizon, nice flat back. Exhale, step or jump back to plank. Then either go down with your knees, chest, chin, or lower down in one long line, flat back to lower plank. Flip the toes over. Inhale, lift the heart to upward facing dog. Knees stay off the ground. Exhale, lift the hips, flip the toes back over, downward facing dog. Great. On your next inhale, take the right foot in between the hands. The left foot comes to 45 degrees on the mat. Keep the right knee over the right ankle as you lift yourself up to warrior one. Hands are reaching up on a diagonal in front of you. Deep inhale here. And as you exhale, take the hands back down to the ground. Right foot steps back. And choose either knees, chest, chin, or to lower down in one long line, but no lower than your elbows. Inhale, flip the toes over, lift the heart to upward dog. Exhale, flip the toes back over again, downward facing dog. Nice, other side. As you inhale, take the left leg in between the hands. Right foot comes to 45 degrees. Keep that left knee over the left ankle, lift yourself up to warrior one. Great. Press that right heel to the ground. As you exhale, take the hands back down to the ground. Left leg steps back and you lower down. As you inhale, come to upward facing dog. Really drop those shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Nice. And if your arms are a bit tired, remember you can drop down to child's pose at any point. Let's have a few more breaths here. Keep checking in with the lower back, pressing the hands into the ground, checking that the feet are hip distance apart, the hands are shoulder width apart. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, jump to the front of the mat, gaze towards the horizon. And as you exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, bend the knees, take the hands forward to chair. And as you exhale, stay here or maybe sink a little lower. Inhale, take the hands above the head, look up to the thumbs, and as you exhale, take the hands to the heart again. Great. And again, take a couple of breaths with the eyes closed. And take the hands down to the ground. Inhale, lift up, bring the hands above the head, even more of an arch this time. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, flat back, gaze forward. Exhale, step or jump back to plank. And then choose your vinyasa or lift the hips back to downward facing dog straight away. Nice. Couple of breaths here. Bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, step the right foot in between the hands, warrior one. Bring yourself forward and up. Nice. Then from here, keep the legs exactly as they are, but take the hands behind you and interlace the fingers. Inhale, lift the heart, drop the shoulders away from the ears, and as you exhale, legs stay exactly where they are and the hands come up and over the head as you bow forwards to humble warrior. So you're letting your shoulders come down to the inside of your right leg, and the hands are still reaching up and over the head, and the elbows are straight. Keep breathing here, keep focusing on that lower back, and you're in a great position to check that back foot is at 45 degrees and the whole foot is pressing into the earth. On the next inhale, bring yourself all the way up. Then take the hands to the waist, transfer the weight into the right leg, and the left heel comes off the ground. Then tilt further forward so your left leg can come off the ground. Straighten it as you begin to tilt your body forwards. So there's a long line between your head all the way back to your left heel, like a long tabletop. Keep the hands on the waist, engage the stomach, and keep the breath flowing. As you exhale, step the left heel back to a long lunge. Then take the right knee behind the right wrist. And your shin is aiming to be parallel or 45 degrees to the front of the mat. Straighten the left leg, point the left toes, and then work your way back up so you can lift the chest. And you might find that this is the right place for you to find that stretch in the right glute, the right hip. Or you can begin to pad your hands forward and let your head drop down. Now if you have any pain in your right knee, I'm just going to show you an alternative stretch. So roll onto your back, then take your right ankle to your left knee, hold onto your left thigh and put it towards the chest, and you'll find that stretch in the right glute again. But if you're alright on your front, then stay there, keep breathing. And if you're on your back, I'll tell you when to join us in a bit. So really focus on that lower back again. As I keep saying, we'll keep revisiting this place, particularly if it's tight in the hips. And this tightness in the glutes really affects the lower back. So if you're doing a long paddle when you're surfing, you come out and you feel like your lower back's really sore, then this is the stretch for you. It really relieves any tension around the lower back. Really give yourself this time. And then begin to pad the hands back up, so you're bringing your chest up. Slowly, slowly. Tuck the left toes under. And then from here, begin to work your way back to downward dog. And if you've been doing the stretch lying on your back, then you can join us in downward dog as well. And while you're in downward dog, notice how one side of the body, particularly the hip and the glute, will begin to feel different. Great. On your next inhale, take the left leg in between the hands and bring yourself forward to warrior one on the other side. Right heel comes down to the ground. Your hand reaches up in a diagonal and the shoulders are dropping away from the ears. As you exhale, take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, and you would have done it the natural way the first way, so do it the unnatural way, so one finger across the second time. Inhale, lift the heart, and as you exhale, fold forward to humble warrior. The hands come up and over the head, and aim to keep both hip bones facing the front, so they're not swinging to the right. Hands still reaching up and over with every exhale. Breathing into the lower back and rooting the heels into the ground. Nice. 2 more breaths. And then on your next inhale, begin to bring yourself all the way back up. Take the hands to the waist. Transfer the weight into the left leg, right heel comes off. Then guiding yourself forward, reach the right heel back, straighten the right leg, and begin to tilt forward with your torso to find that tabletop position. You can bend the left knee as much as you need to, or you can keep it straight, but the right leg, however high it is straight. Great. Keep that breath going, keep the back of the neck nice and long. Exhale, step the right foot back to a long lunge, and then take the left knee again behind the left wrist. And if you're on your back on the first time, just flip over now and take your left ankle on top of the right knee, bringing the right knee towards the chest. If you're on your front, you can begin to pad your hands to wherever you had it on the first side. Keep the breath flowing. I'll keep reminding you of that. Turn your attention to the lower back and really give yourself this time to release the glutes, release the hips, and melt down towards the ground. It doesn't matter if the head doesn't touch the ground, as long as you're finding that stretch. Couple more breaths here. Nice. Then slowly, slowly begin to walk yourself back up. So you're lifting your chest up. So really take your time here. Tuck the right toes under. Lift the right knee off the ground. And then again, taking your time, maybe pad the hands a little bit in front of you as you lift yourself back up to downward dog. And again, if you're on your back, we'll meet you in downward dog. Notice how the body feels different, both hips, the lower back. Reset in your downward dog. On the next inhale, lift the heels off the ground, ripple through the spine to plank. And as you exhale, begin to lower down, either with the knees on or off the ground, all the way down so your hips touch the ground. From here, take your elbows underneath the shoulders and the forearms are parallel in front of you. Then from here, take your left leg off the ground, keep it straight and cross it over the right. So you'll get a nice twist in the spine. Keep the shoulders facing forward so you're not collapsing in either shoulders. Great, then back down again and the other side. So keep the right leg straight, take it over the left, but keep both shoulders facing forwards and you're not collapsing in your left or your right shoulder. Nice. Then come back to parallel legs. Take the hands either side of the ribs, squeeze the elbows together, either stay here or take your hands wide like an aeroplane. Either stay here or reach your hands even further forward to the front. Now you've got a choice of taking the left hand back and then switching so the left hand comes forward, right hand comes back, and again switch. So kind of like two propellers going in the opposite direction. Keep your breath going and keep your chest lifted, as if you were paddling. Then take the hands back either side of the ribs, lift the hips up and then all the way back to the heels and rest in child's pose. This is a great place to release the lower back, particularly after all those back bends. So just let the hips and the head sink down. Enjoy this rest. And then slowly begin to peel yourself back up so you're sitting back on your heels. Take your time. Then take the bum to one side and lengthen the legs out in front of you. You might need to shuffle a little further forward on your mat before you roll down and lie on your back. And keep the heels close towards your bum, so you're bending your knees. Your feet are flat on the ground. On the next inhale, peel the base of the spine off, then the middle of the back and the upper back. Once you've got room underneath your bum, interlace your fingers and rock from side to side to get your shoulders right underneath. Then you can play with taking one heel off the ground, but keep the hips up, and then the other. Or you can play with taking one leg towards the sky, but again, keep the hips really lifted. And remember to do both sides equally. Nice. On your inhale, take the feet down to the ground if they're not there already. Lift the hips even higher, and then begin to peel down from the top of the spine, middle of the back, and finally the lower back. And you can windscreen wiper your knees from side to side if you want to. We'll do this again. So peel the base of the spine off, the middle of the back, and then the upper back. Interlace the fingers underneath the bum, get the shoulders right underneath, keep the hips lifted, and then have a play. Maybe take the heels off, maybe take one leg to the sky, and then the other. But remember to keep those hips lifting up. Really nice. Heels come down to the ground. Inhale, lift the hips even higher. Then peel down from the top of the spine, middle of the back, let go of the hands, and lower back. Then you can hug your knees in, give them a hug, maybe rock them from side to side. Then begin to rock forwards and backwards until you have enough momentum to sit up. You might need to shuffle yourself a little further back. Lengthen your legs out in front of you, then pull the right knee in towards the chest. And have a hand width distance between your left leg and your right foot. From here, the left hand comes to the ground behind you, and you can reach the right hand forward to hold on either to the inside of the calf or the foot. Or if you're a little bit more flexible, you can wrap the right arm around the right shin, and the left arm joins it behind you, so you bind at the back. But if you have your right hand on the left leg, and you find that nice stretch in the left leg, you're exactly where you should be. Keep breathing into the stretch. Keep the left toes flexed back towards your nose. As you inhale, bring yourself all the way back up. Take your time. Take the right foot a little closer towards the left, and then lengthen it down to the ground again. Squeeze in the left leg. Again, have a hand width distance between the left foot and the right thigh. Take the left hand to the right leg, or bind it round the left shin and find your right hand at the back. This is a great stretch for the lower back. Keep breathing and extending the head forward in a diagonal, and with every exhale, maybe you'll come a little further forward. Keep those toes flexing back towards your nose. Great. Slowly, slowly, begin to bring yourself all the way back up. Hug both knees towards your chest, and then maybe swipe them from left and right, just to release the hips a little bit. Again, shuffle yourself a little further forward, so you can lie all the way down onto your back again. Now you can either stay here if this feels good for you, or you've got the choice of swinging your legs over your head, catching your back with your hands. And then again, either bending the knees so the knees come to the forehead, or you can extend the legs out behind you to find Halasana, plow pose. If you find that the toes touch the ground behind you, you've also got the choice of interlacing the fingers behind the back, straightening the elbows and bringing them down to the ground. So this is a great counter stretch for all those back bends. Can feel a little claustrophobic, but just keep breathing into the stretch, breathing into your stomach. And then place the hands back down onto the ground or take them to your back again as you slowly start rolling down vertebra by vertebra. Once your back's on the ground, keep the legs straight as you lower them all the way down to touchdown. Nice. From here, bend your knees and take your hands underneath the pelvis with the palms facing down. Great. Prop yourself up onto your elbows, so bend your elbows, get them right underneath you. Then as you inhale, lift the chest towards the sky, point the toes, and as you exhale, you've got the choice of letting your head drop back behind you. This is fish pose. Keep breathing into the chest, opening that chest to the sky. Nice. As you inhale, bring your chin to the chest, and then rock from side to side to release your hands. Now I'd like you to make a triangle shape with your thumb and your finger, and place this underneath your sacrum as you lie down on the ground again. Great. Bend your knees, but take them the width of the mat, so a little wider than hip width. Then let your knees knock in towards each other, so you can just switch off all the muscles. And this really helps release the sacrum. Release all the muscles, release any tension. So simply lie here and enjoy this release. You don't have to be anywhere or do anything. Let the muscles relax. Take the breath to the lower back or any part of the body that might feel tight or well worked, or a little looser, whatever it is. Great. Keep breathing. And then, in your own time, begin to release your hands from underneath your pelvis. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And begin to rock them from side to side. Maybe bring the forehead towards the knees. Then do a couple of rocks forwards and backwards until you have enough momentum to come up to sitting. And again, find that comfortable sitting position you found right at the beginning. Place the hands on the knees or the hands at prayer in front of your chest. Keep the eyes closed and send your breath to the lower back for the final time as you bow your head to the heart. Namaste.